In the recently serene and calm sky, gloomy gray clouds began to swirl. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. A downpour fell on the ground. I hurriedly ran down the street, pushing aside bustling passers-by. My house was already visible somewhere in the distance. "I came," I shouted. The house was dark and suspiciously quiet. I turned on the light in the hallway and looked around. Nobody is at home. No sister, no parents. Where did everyone go at night? "Mom, Dad," I called out to my parents. The answer was again oppressive silence. "Rebecca." I pursed my lips. It became a little scary because for the first time in all this time I was left alone in this dark and gloomy two-story house. And even at night. Although, what am I afraid of? After all, there are no ghosts, like any other paranormal and supernatural crap. With these thoughts, I headed towards the stairs. "Go to dinner, Carrie." My mother's loud voice made me jump in fear and cling to the railing with a death grip. "So is Mom still home? Mom, where are you?" "In the kitchen." "Go to dinner, Carrie." The mother continued to scream. The sound comes from the direction of the kitchen or father's office. But if you think logically, then Mom is still in the kitchen. It's good now. I will change my cloth. With these words, I headed to the second floor. Going into my room and turning on the light there, I plopped down on the bed. Gradually, I began to fall asleep. My eyes unconsciously closed. My mind left me, intending to go to the world of Morpheus. "Go to dinner, Carrie." Mom's voice was heard again. I shuddered in surprise. Shaking my head from side to side, I tried to push away the remnants of sleep. Having quickly changed my clothes, I was about to leave the room when I suddenly heard a cheerful ding coming from the direction of the desk. When I got there, I saw my phone lying peacefully. One new message. The display read. Grunting, I took it in my hands and unlocking it, read aloud. "They didn't reach you. You left your phone at home. Dad and I went to visit a friend. We'll come back late. Warm yourself up something if you're hungry. From Mothers." Stupor gripped my entire body. Is Mom joking? I was just at home, and now I suddenly left. And even with Dad. Some kind of Petrosianism. "Go to dinner, Carrie." It was heard again from the first floor. Goosebumps ran all over my body. If Mom is gone, then who's in the kitchen? A mini horror story that I once read on Contact popped up in my head. Mom called me into the kitchen, but on the way there I heard my mother whispering from another room. "Don't go there." I heard that too. And only now I noticed that I was shaking all over. Standing in front of the door of my room, I nervously thought about my plan of action. What should I do? Some monster is now standing in the kitchen and calling me in the voice of my mother. Maybe call your parents. They definitely won't believe me and will tell me to watch less horror films. Climb out of the house through the window. No, there are bars. What then? What the fuck should I do then? Panic grew. Fear gripped my mind. Tears welled up in my eyes. Tears of despair. Hopelessness. I don't even know myself. "Carrie," I screamed. A voice came from behind the locked door. I backed away in fear. Hands were shaking, eyes darted from one corner of the room to another. I do not know what to do. I do not know what to do. "Carrie, open it now," the voice insistently demanded. I took a few steps forward and extended my hand to the key. The mind screamed and sounded the alarm. "Don't do this," was going through my head. "Carrie." Closing my eyes, I turned the key and jerked the door open. The silence that followed frightened me. I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm afraid to even open my eyes. After all, I feel that in front of me is standing. "Rebecca," I whispered when I opened my eyes. The dim light of the chandelier that was somehow burning in my room helped me see the outline of my older sister's face. She stood with disheveled hair in a white dress and looked at me with an imperturbable expression. You scared me. Do you even know how creepy and scary you look now?" Ignoring my desperate cries, my sister, still with the same indifferent look, turned around and walked somewhere, finally throwing out, "Go eat, Carrie." Damn, I was so scared. And Rebecca apparently just woke up, since she walks around the house with such a sleepy look. And the white dress is actually probably a nightie. Just a nightie. Phew, and I created such a panic here, I already wanted to jump from the window. What a panicker and a coward I am. Breathing a sigh of relief, I headed to the kitchen. Having entered there, I immediately glanced at the older sister, who stood with her back to me and looked out the window. Turning my gaze to the table, I saw 2 cutlets and mashed potatoes resting peacefully on a plate. "Thank you," I thanked Rebecca for the food. Taking the fork in my hands, I began to eat. "Do you know why I didn't open the door for you?" After some time, I spoke. "I thought it was my mother calling me, not you. I got another message I'll show you now." Putting the cutlery aside, I took my phone out of my pocket. The surprises are not over yet for today. This time, the cell display read, 12 missed calls. Mom called all these 12 times. Lord, has something really happened? Becky, wait a minute. I need to call my mom back, I said. Rebecca was no longer standing at the window. She, again standing with her back to me, washed the dishes. I dialed my mom's number and put the phone to my ear. There were beeps. Hello, son. It was heard on that line. Mom, did you call? Why didn't you pick up the phone, huh? The mother began to cry hysterically. Mom, Rebecca had an accident here. Dad and I are in the hospital now. We'll stay until the morning. I no longer heard what my mother said next. Horror and fear gripped my entire body. For a second, I even stopped breathing. The hand weakened. The phone immediately flew down and fell straight onto the tile with a roar. My gaze was still fixed on the plate with the half-eaten cutlet. I slowly looked up at Rebecca. That is, to what was pretending to be her. The eyes widened in horror at the sight of a grinning creature holding a sharp knife in its hand. It's time to eat curry, the creature muttered in a chilling voice, taking a step towards me.